허.
어. 아. 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 에? 아! 아!
어,
에이! 어? 아. 아? 어? 어? 아! 어? 아!
어? Ah. Ah.
What? Oh! Okay. Now where have you been? Linky, you're not a ghost, are you? Hey. That looks interesting. Phew. One step at a time. What exactly happened? So when you and Princess Zelda go beneath Hyrule Castle, you discover a mysterious mummy which suddenly reanimates. Then Zelda falls into a fissure and vanishes. That must have been when the castle rose and the ruins fell. Then, later, you wake up on a sky island, saved by the arm that was stuck to the mummy. You get the Pura Pad from an unusual creature, and learn that your new arm belonged to someone named Rauru. The Master Sword disappears. You hear the princess's voice, and find your way here. Huh? What? Mm-hmm. Yes. Hmm. Ah.
어. 아. 야. 야. 아. 야. 야. 아. 야. 야. 아. 야. 아. 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 어. 아. 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 야. 어. 아. 오. 어. 아. 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 아이. 야. 아. 아. 아이. 야. 아이. 야. 아. 어. 아. 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 Mmm. Oh. Ah.
The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is an enormous beast with an incredible amount to see and fuse. Just how long is it? In this video, we'll let you know exactly how many hours it took different members of the IGN team to finish the story and what they prioritize doing with their time.
While it's probably more accurate to say that I beat the main story of Tears of the Kingdom after about 60 hours of playtime, I want it on record that I could have beaten it after the first few hours I spent taking in all the tutorial island has to offer. One of the very first things I did to Breath of the Wild's Great Plateau was to march my shirtless Link right up to the final boss and give him a beatdown. So realizing that Ganondorf obviously hadn't learned his lesson, I resolved to do it again. I won't reveal exactly how things had played out this time around, but I will say that a handful of rocks taped to tree branches can only get you so far against the big bad, and you only have 4 hearts. Afterwards, I spent much of my time just exploring the wide world, uncovering secrets, and revisiting familiar locations to see what had changed. When I finally decided to see how the main story played out, I still had so much left to explore, and hadn't even completed most of the shrines I discovered. By now, I'm well over 100 hours in, and since I plan to see and do everything to help build out our wiki guide, I expect to be clocking countless more hours before I'm done.
I beat the story of Tears of the Kingdom around the 82-hour mark, but I let myself wander and get distracted along the way, as that's sort of the point. You could almost certainly beat it faster than that if you're just trying to get to the end, but even after 100 total hours played, I still have an absurd amount of stuff left to do. Side quests to finish, secrets to find, shrines to complete, and so much more. The in-game tracker tells me I've barely passed 50% completion, and while the story itself is only a small fraction of that, the overall size of the game is truly impressive.
It took me about 70 hours to get to the credits of Tears of the Kingdom, with 35% of the game completed. Being on the video walkthrough often means replaying parts of the game to get good clips, but I didn't have to do that as much this time around. I'm not exactly sure why, but I think it has something to do with there being so many different answers to every problem. I completed 16 side adventures, 10 side quests, 3 shrine quests, and about 72 shrines. If I hadn't been on a deadline, I would have spent way more time getting distracted by everything else there was to do, besides just focusing on the main quests.
Once you've finished your adventures in Tears of the Kingdom, make sure to let us know how long you took in the comments, and for even more Zelda, make sure to check out our review.
How do you make an open world where the player is completely free to explore, but is also led
Welcome back to Next Gen Console Watch, our show following all the news on next gen hardware. I'm Damon Hatfield, and as always, I'm joined by Max Scoville, host of IGN's PlayStation Podcast, Podcast Beyond. Hello there. Hello. And Ryan McCaffrey, host of IGN's Xbox Podcast, Podcast on.
Damon. Each week you take turns introducing the other person first. It's very nice.
Yeah. Everyone gets a turn. We've got a great show for this week. We have more on the Red Fallout from last week. Some really interesting comments from Phil Spencer on how competitive Xbox can be. And I know Ryan has some strong opinions on that. But let's begin with the big topic this week. By the time this episode airs, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will be out in the wild. Many of you have been playing it. I don't know about you two, but it seems like there's more hype and excitement for this game than any game in recent memory. Everyone just seems to be just absolutely on the edge of their seat when it's released. Now I just was out. It's a 10 out of 10. Follow-up to that. Review for us and video review. Make rate drops. Playing to the game, but it makes it want a Switch Pro more than ever. And what about that Switch Pro? Nintendo has recently said this week that it will not be a Switch Pro this year, nothing before April of next year. Overdrive recently because Nintendo is returning to in-person events in a big way. They'll be at Gamescom in August, the biggest game show in the world, and then they have their own Nintendo Live event in Seattle in September. It's easy to imagine they're coming back to in-person events because they have some new hardware. But now Nintendo says no hardware this year, and also Switch sales are slow decline, down year over year. So even though Switch is phenomenally successful, hardware sales are continuing to decline. Next, it's also possible they could announce some new hardware later this year, but it won't be out until next year. They just sort of start building up excitement for it.
Don't forget people excited. I keep forgetting, I always forget this, is that Breath of the Wild was, in addition to a launch title for the Switch, was also a Wii U game. Like, that didn't start the generation. It was announced as a Wii U game, which is kind of crazy to think about. It, you know, really were anything on that. They did the best with the hardware they could, and I'm really excited to see how they expand on that with Tears of the Kingdom. That said, it is a little bit disappointing to hear that, you know, it chugs a bit still on that hardware. It also is surprising to hear the Switch sales they probably have just decided not to. But again,
Witness the blood moons rise. When its red glow shines upon the land, the aimless spirits of slain monsters return to flesh. Just as they did in a war long past. The world is threatened once again.
I'm always a big fan of the Game Boy Micro. I really just want a fresh new Switch. You know, like, I don't want to get excited about like a slightly redesigned model. I think we need, like, you know, a little kick in the behind there. Something
Nintendo have they ever really done they haven't done a proper mid-cycle, right? I mean, that's all that really was only introduced by Microsoft. I want this to be called the Super Switch. I want to connect with these, and
they want atomic purpose. That's
Switch.
all we want. We're old. We want our old toys.
But it's also going to increase not just the anticipation, but the expectations. I'm eager. As of this recording, I have not played Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm not a person that's hung up on 60 frames per second, but I just need a consistent 30, and we'll see how well Tears of the Kingdom holds up. Breath of the Wild for me was acceptable. I wasn't like, this is the frame rate, but it certainly wasn't this insane smooth. I expect Tears of the Kingdom probably is somewhere in that same zone. Yeah, I mean, the Switch has one advantage is that because it is underpowered, but it's compared to current gen hardware, and that's something that's maybe last gen stuff to be ported over. We see a lot of things get like really super Blu-rays, lower end focus, and that's great. That's exposing a whole new audience there. But maybe just get the HDR in there. Like make it. HDR is probably that we might be aiming a little too high if we're looking for HDR on Nintendo. If I can't get a PS4 Pro, give me just a regular PS4. Just get that take that. Yeah.
We don't really know what Nintendo has after Zelda. They have Pikmin in August, but besides that, we don't know what they have for this fall. So, but they definitely have something because they're coming to Gamescom and have the Nintendo Live event. They're going to be showing something there. So.
Well, it was we had 6 years between Zelda Breath of the Wild as a launch title and now Tears of the Kingdom, and we are now going to surpass the 6 years between mainline Mario games as well. As the guy who for IGN, that was my game of the year. No disrespect to Breath of the Wild, but Odyssey was it for me in 2017, and we have not even a whisper of what's going on the AAA Mario front. So hopefully a day one launch title for Mario for the Super Switch. That is what I will hold on to.
You're forgetting one big one, and honestly, there's an anniversary coming up, but it's got to be the 10th anniversary of them revealing the Metroid Prime 4 logo pretty soon. I think that's still an HD remaster, honestly. All we've got was the logo, so just, I don't know. That and Mario, I think, would be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm very excited to play Zelda, but I do think it's about time for some new hardware, Nintendo. I think it is still possible they could announce something this year. The only thing that makes me cautious about that is that Nintendo's president said that they're forecast to sell another 15 million units this year, but he admitted that's and if they announce a new console in the fall, that's not going to do them any favors in selling Switches until
you don't want to Osborne yourself, which is exactly what would happen. It didn't matter when it was going Wii U to Switch because
they can, out-console PlayStation, Nintendo. Amidst their Xbox is in third place, and it's basically saying there's no world where that changes. Or they frog either company.
Well, we spent an hour on this. So I will once again plug my own show if people have not seen or listened to that. But I thought we had a really great conversation with our panel this week, and then we had some fun after. We did our first ever Xbox Game Showcase draft. We went around the table a few times and drafted the games that are going to be most likely to appear at the showcase. Anyway, Phil, I've known Phil professionally for a long, long time. I think he's a genuinely good person. He is a gamer, which you can't say about Doug Bowser or Jim Ryan. Separating it from obviously the business side of things. Phil gets it. He knows how the community is feeling. He knows the frustration. He knows the patience has run out. For me,
I get where he's coming from. He says, you know, we can't out-console these guys, and Phil's point was, well, we're trying to basically play a different game. Not necessarily with different rules, but we're over here trying to just get on as many devices as we can, and that Starfield's an 11 out of 10. Again, this is a paraphrase. Starfield's an 11 out of 10. Nobody's going to throw away their PS5. He's not wrong about that, but I very much disagree with him about the idea that games out isn't going to bring people over to your ecosystem. Because no, he said in this interview as well that they lost the Xbox One generation, which was devastating because that's where everybody kind of got cemented into their digital ecosystem, all their digital game purchases, DLC purchases, and that kind of thing. So he's not wrong about that. I just would not respectfully disagree with the notion that they're just stuck in third place because it can't happen overnight. You know, Phil in the same interview brought up, well, you know, we're not in the cartridge and disc era anymore. It was a hard reset at the start of a new generation, and we could win that market share right back. Again, he's right about that, but where I just fundamentally disagree is how the Xbox became successful in the first place. Like, the original successful, you could call it a failure because you can make the case either way. It was not profitable, but Microsoft knew it never would be. It was there to get a foothold. They did that. 360 had this brilliant vision from day one. We're going to be an x86-based PC-like box with plenty of horsepower. They upped the RAM and Epic's insistence up front. They listened to their developers who said, hey, if we want Gears of War, we need more RAM. And Microsoft said, we will spend that money and put that RAM in our boxes. And so they were developers. They signed all these great games. And look at the first 3 years. Again, I talked in depth about this on Unlocked. The first 3 years of 360 were incredible, both first party and third party. And so you fast forward to now, and while no, you can't flip the script quickly, Starfield alone won't do it. But if you can consistently put out 11 out of 10 games, okay, that's not realistic, of course, because that's not a real score. But if you can consistently put out this amazing first party exclusives the way that Sony has done, people will come back. You know, they're not going to throw their PS5 in the trash, but maybe after enough of those wins, if you can just get win after win after win, as Sony did, starting at the back half of the PS3 generation, heading into the PS4 generation, and continuing all through it now into PS5, you're going to get people who go, you know, when it comes time for that next generational shift to PlayStation 6 and Xbox Series Y, well, if you've been winning and you've been some of those I just fundamentally disagree with the idea that they can't move the market share needle. It's just they can. It's just going to take longer, and it's going to take a hell of a lot more successful games to get you know, now approaching the age of buying their own consoles. You know, Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that, but then also introducing, you know, new IP.
Xbox, and as we were saying recently, a lot is riding on that now. But if it's great, Ryan, if it's an 11 out of 10, I think you get enough of those games, and people start to think Xbox is going to look more attractive now. We've got the results of last episode's poll. We asked you, is second, which Redfall launched at, is that acceptable in games today? Over 50% of respondents said no, it's no longer acceptable. About 24% said it depends on the genre. 12.5% said just under 12% said that yes. I think I agree. I think we're all sort of in agreement. Kind of depends on the genre. Right, but
Anyway, who pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom?
yeah, yep. First impressions, it's only been out for a few hours now, but if you're playing Tears of the Kingdom now, are you satisfied with Tears of the Kingdom's performance on the over 6-year-old Switch hardware? Yes, no, are you Make sure to vote us at IGN.com. We'll share the results in the next episode. That's going to do it for this edition of Next Gen Time to Watch. Thank you to both Max and Ryan. Thank you to everyone working on this possible. My name is Damon. We'll be back next week with more Next Gen hardware news and rumors. See you then.
That the PS5 has its own hidden voice assistant that once enabled, we wake by saying "Hey PlayStation" and can use it to control basic.
What's up, everybody? Damon here, and in today's gaming news, the developers of Pokemon just announced an ambitious new game. Nintendo is trying to quiet down rumors about new Switch hardware, and Starfield might let you have sex on a jetpack. Yep. Game Freak, the Japanese developer best known for Pokemon, has a new game on the way that isn't Pokemon. Publisher Private Division made the announcement today, describing it as a brand new, ambitious samurai action adventure. The trailer was released with one piece of concept art, and if it's indicative of the final product will look like, I agree. It's currently called Project Blue, and the art is the lone samurai, possibly Ronin, standing in a lush forest before a giant tree that's a pretty particle festival. It's much more Ghost of Tsushima than Koto Fukushima. Game Freak described the project as most recently, Game Freak released Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Scarlet and Violet infamously launched with terrible performances and graphic glitches, gave it a 6 out of 10. Outside of Pokemon, Game Freak has made mostly smaller games. Town Hero, Giga Wrecker, and the solitaire horse racing game Pocket Card Jockey. So, not to be a Damey Downer over here, but Game Freak doesn't have much experience in making big 3D adventure games, and its most recent titles were extremely buggy and broken at launch. I'm not sure how excited we should be for Project Blue. At this point, I think I'll wait until I see some gameplay and we get some hands-on time with it. This might be a while. The head of Private Division, Michael on the verge of summer of gaming and announcement season. More about Project Blue. Moving on, Nintendo is trying to quiet rumors about explain this all during his best. This comes despite a decline in the console sold close to 18 million units in the last financial year, down from 23 million sold the year before, and 28 million the year before that. Nintendo forecast another drop in the company. Furukawa said, sustaining the sales momentum will be difficult in its 7th year. Our goal of selling 15 million units this fiscal year is a bit of a stretch. We will do our best to bolster demand going into the holiday season so that we can achieve the goal. Rumors of a new console have been circulating for years. They were kicked into high gear recently. Gamescom show in Germany, and it will host its own in-person event called the Violet have also hit major sales milestones. Splatoon 3 has sold more than 10 million units since launch, while Scarlet and Violet have now passed the 20 million unit milestone. That Pokemon number is a little less than 2019's Sword and Shield, which currently sits at 25.8 million units. Scarlet and Violet are still performing well compared to most Switch games, however. There's 7 less than best-selling software behind only Super Mario Odyssey, Sword and Shield, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Across the Golden Horizon, and Arcade Plus. Splatoon 3 doesn't quite crack the top 10. Regardless, both games are part of the million-selling club that will 20 years first and speaking of sales, Guerrilla Games has revealed that Horizon Forbidden West has sold 8.4 million units so far, and that the franchise overall has sold 32.7 million. Studio director Dan Bart Van Beek said millions more around the world have discovered Horizon thanks to PlayStation subscription services and initiatives, including PlayStation Plus and Play at Home. All told, it's a milestone we never imagined possible 20 years ago when we first started making games. Guerrilla has already confirmed that a third main game in the Horizon series will be in 2021, as well as a multiplayer game. The latest game in the franchise is Horizon and Horizon Forbidden West received that Halo is keeping busy in other media too. There's also another new Horizon series in the works from Umbrella Academy director Steve Blackman. I'm glad to hear Forbidden West is doing well. I loved it, but it seemed to be overshadowed by Elven Ring after this. Of course, exactly what happened with Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild back in 2017. But it sounds like Horizon is going to be A-OK. It's happening again. And finally today, Starfield drugs, in-game purchases, and checks notes. Jetpack says the ESRB has given Starfield an imprimatur. Violence. Many of these classifications are some interesting details. A couple of examples of Starfield's suggestive dialogue include life is a sexually transmitted disease that's 100% fatal, and I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time, let's try it without the jetpacks. Okay, we've talked a lot recently about how in the wake of the Redfall disaster, Starfield has to have an amazing launch. But if it has jetpack sex, I think it's going to do just fine. The ESRB summary goes on to describe a fictional drug called Aurora that will be prominent in the game, and states Starfield will feature a section with players' characters working with an drug lab. Aurora can be stolen from purchased vendors, using the drug to result in a distortion effect on the screen. Oh, and the words fuck and bullshit. Starfield is set to launch on Xbox Series X and S and PC on September 6th. That is your daily fix for Tuesday, May 9th. Now that you're caught up on the news, check out our new preview of Diablo 4. I'm David Hatfield. All your gaming news.
The second is the ability to customize your personal AC by combining multiple parts and integrating it into painting and decals and the like. So these player-assembled, player-controlled ACs are able to fly freely through the air and multiple simultaneously and turn on time naturally for projectiles. This makes it more dynamic and very immersive for combat style and makes full use of three-dimensional space. And we feel that this has always been a key of the Armored series and is helping make action genre.
For die-hard Armored Core fans, what are the elements of EP6 that those hardcore fans are excited about this game?
With AC6, one area we focused on was to make sure that the optimization aspect is not just about parameters going up and down and numerical values changing. In particular, the parts which control the AC's movement, you might have a tank type that likes the drift turns, and this changes the very basic behavior and traversal type of the AC. We also made sure that the behavior of weapons, such as the way they shoot, how they recoil, how their projectiles behave, we tried to make sure that this all makes a big difference in how the game feels and plays.
So, speaking a little bit about that customization, Armored Core games have a bit of a reputation for being very complex. Many stats to consider, parts to swap in and out. Is there anything else that you guys are planning to do in Core 6 to make it a little more approachable for newcomers who might not be used to that level of complexity?
As you mentioned, Armored Core is a recent game with it's a game where you can enjoy the complexity and depth it offers. We feel it's also a game where you can enjoy simply by assembling your AC without thinking too deeply about it. Just the appearance to your liking, and out there and pilot and take it to combat. That said, in regard to new players, we've taken careful steps with the onboarding and level design in the early stages of the game, so that players can deepen their understanding step by step and work their way into so we hope that those who have no experience in the series will feel free to enter and enjoy the feel of piloting their very own army.
Are there any lessons that you guys have learned in the years you spent developing Souls games that you take into the development of Armored Core 6, even though they're kind of two very different genres?
Armored Core 6 is an attempt to take both the knowledge and experience gained from the development of our previous titles and combine it with the fun and customization that the AC series has always embraced. And in this sense, we hope to create a new mech action game that is worthy of From Software standards. Specifically, we're developing this game with an awareness of the things that From Software has always embraced in its other action games, such as an intricate map structure, combat design that allows players to deal with enemies by carefully observing their movements, and the ability to overcome challenging situations with ingenuity and creativity. These are all, of course, things we've kept in mind with AC6 as well. However, as you mentioned, the basic format and genre of Armored Core is completely